It's sports in your ass.
All sorts of sports in your ass.
That's right, Ryan. That's right. That's how the intro should go to this show. Now, I am now your host, K-Dot, because Keem drove to Baltimore to go watch the Ravens-Bills games, and apparently he didn't make it out of Baltimore alive, which, to be expected, right? Anybody surprised by this?
He should have called us.
Little Southern Charlotte boy headed up to the big north and didn't make it back out.
I mean, they were telling people to go to West Baltimore to like tour the city.
Tour the city, go check out the Western District, throw some beer cans up on the top like McNulty.
Like, come on, don't do that.
No, cool. I mean, he sent me a text. I mean, it was the whitest thing I ever heard. He wanted to go on the Wire tour. I was like, God damn, man, how much touristy are you?
First off, how dare you?
Yeah,
the Wire
shameful
tour
shit. Shameful
awesome.
shit. But Keem's dead in the harbor, and show must go on. So we have ASOS episode.
He's got the cleanest windshield.
The ghost of Keem, or one of James's random friends from Twitter, will be joining us going forward.
Hey, maybe.
Who knows, right? Who knows? We like to keep the surprises going. So this is ASOS.
I like just next week. I should have asked him for this week.
It doesn't matter. ASOS 131, I believe, is the episode number. Hopefully I get this one out before the Thursday night game so that everything we say isn't completely irrelevant by the time that you're watching this. As our Tua discussion was, but we'll get into Tua a little bit later. Wanted to start off on a more somber note.
Yeah.
Cowboys former tight end Gavin Escobar passed away last week or a few days ago. Rock climbing incident in Cali.
Yeah.
Very, very sad news. Dude was entirely too young to have something like that happen, but I guess maybe I'm hoping it was something he really loved.
That shit is scary.
Dude, the rock climbing, base jumping,
all that shit, the indoor shit.
It just seems dangerous, man.
I'm not even doing the indoor shit.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
People died taking fucking selfies on top of the rock.
Yeah.
Like,
I see that shit all the time, especially like Skyline Drive. You know how many times you like pull off on one of the overlooks and there's some white chick in yoga pants hanging off the side of the thing to get the selfie, and it's like, oh God, yeah.
I actually saw a black chick like hang over a waterfall, like on Twitter, maybe like last week, and it's like it was like the scene from Black Panther. Like when they were fighting on the ledge.
Oh, the pool by the fall. Yeah. But
it was like a what? I was like,
no, it's a waterfall. Yeah, there's a swimming hole right next to a waterfall. A lot of people take these viral photos, but
I forget where it is. She was over somewhere out the country.
That was nuts.
You gotta do what you gotta do, man.
Everybody has to, but that's the thing. Everybody has this need to feel some sort of adrenaline doing something. I do it by driving fast. And living dangerously in other ways. Beyond that, but even like I was looking, did you guys see Redman is a certified parachutist? Like he's a skydiver now. He's done 28 jumps, so he can do it. He does them solo, can do tricks, all kinds of stuff out of planes.
That's what they meant. Red and Meth getting jumps, not jumped. Now I understand that song. Okay, makes sense.
All right, R.I.P. Gavin Escobar. I know we kind of went off the rails at the end, but rest in peace, dude. All right, so week 4 recap. This is where Keem would start talking about concern indexes and what have you, right? Now, since I'm hosting, I won't start with myself. I know that everybody tunes in every week to hear from one guy above all else, but I'm going to save him for a second. Let's start with the guy, the white man, or the whitish man, Ryan. And what we would love to have Keem here so he could recap what the game was like, but how'd your Bills do? Where's your concern index on the Bills?
Like a half
a point,
0.5.
I got a question. What would you have said to Keem if you were sitting next to him during the game?
Bitch.
He definitely gets slapped.
That's 100%. I was so cold, I wouldn't have felt it. I had already, my body was iced. It would have been fine. So obviously didn't start off well.
Mm-hmm.
My same concern from the beginning of the season. Little trouble stopping the run. J.K. Dobbins had, I think, the 2 touchdowns. And then we just started having lineman injuries and then injuries to our receivers again. That being said, pivotal point was, I think, probably one of those analytic things where they were on the goal line. They got stuffed twice, decided to go for it on fourth down instead of taking the points. And then threw a pick to Poyer. And then if you look at our point differential through the first 3 games of the season, we were plus 32 in the third quarter. And we hadn't give up a second half score all season. So maybe not what they would have wanted to do. And then Josh Allen's just a machine. So we're just going to have to, I mean, those are the games we're going to have to win, right? But I'm not super concerned. Obviously, you can't score 50 points every game. Baltimore's defense is good. We just really got to shore up that run defense. Also, we don't run the ball, so
I'm looking at Devin Singletary, 11 carries, 49 yards.
A lot of those were for 2 yards for a first down, right? And we also have Reggie Gilliam. Fullbacks matter. And then we have Josh Allen. Like, we have like one of the most elite third down rushers in the game. He just happens to be our quarterback. Like, there's big men trying to pull him down and are unable. So team's still real good. Just we need to stay healthy. We lost Jamison Crowder, which we also lost Isaiah McKenzie. So those are our 2 slot receivers.
How long they out?
Jamison Crowder's out for the season.
Ooh.
Isaiah McKenzie, I don't know. So we're gonna see.
Follow-up question for both of you coming off that game. I think that from what we talked about on the pod compared to what everybody else has also talked about, this felt like it was the MVP bowl between Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. Now, knowing that neither of them had like crazy stat lines coming out of this game, they both threw picks. I think quarterback rating like 60 something for each of them. And I do believe also, if I might be mistaken about this, but I don't think I am, the J.K. Dobbins rushing touchdown was the first offensive touchdown by Baltimore that didn't involve Lamar Jackson. So coming out of this game, where do you have the MVP race?
Patrick Mahomes.
So, okay. All right, that's fair enough. And we'll talk about the Chiefs Bucs game.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's still Josh Allen. He ran for one, threw for one. But I think that's gonna be the outlier for the season. I think him having 2 or 3 touchdowns a game against lesser defenses is gonna be pretty common. And also, I think Lamar, if our run defense wasn't so bad, and our pass defense wasn't so good, he would have had to scramble because we could have stopped the run. But if you could just give it to J.K. Dobbins for 10 yards a pop, why wouldn't you do that, right? Because we're spying the quarterback. So, I mean, we're 3-1, they're 2-2. So I got Josh Allen like, but if that game had kept going the way it went in the first half, it would easily have gone the other way. So also really shitty conditions to play in. Fucking cold. I have a cold. Apparently that you're like pneumonia or whatever. I don't know.
You have pneumonia or whatever?
No.
You
But that's how you get it. I don't think COVID survives in 40-degree weather. I don't know.
Might get immunized. Aaron Rodgers.
First of all, I'm immunized.
All right,
100% immunized.
All right, done with the Bills-Ravens stuff. Keem couldn't even be here to represent his team. He had to
Bills.
go cry in the harbor because he lost to the Bills. All right, I said I was going to do the Commanders next. Or no, I said I was going to do James next to say the Commanders for last, but I'm actually going to switch that up because I want to get the Commander shit out of the way. And I know James is going to go long-winded on the Raiders anyway because he gets all emotional.
I do.
I
do.
Hey, all right. Once again, chill out. Stop. We'll go to you next. I'm going to take your Commander stuff real quick.
First step is admittance, bro.
There you go, bud. There you go.
I'm working on myself.
So my Commanders lost to the Cooper Rush-led Dallas Cowboys this week in a game in which I predicted we would lose. But the way in which we lost, I think, has got everybody in Washington kind of screaming and crying and ready to jump off bridges. just because of how inept the offense looked, especially Carson Wentz just not looking great, not making great decisions, and the offensive line being a fucking sieve. Now, that being said, Dallas only mustered, 2 sacks against Carson Wentz, but there was enough pressures, 2 interceptions, some really bad throws, some terrible, intentional grounding, things like that. Wasn't really good. But to me, still, my concern index is exactly where it was last week. I think my code red game, my game in which if we lose this, then the wheels have completely fallen off, is this Titans game coming up. But with Brian Robinson potentially coming back, Jonathan Williams, who nobody fucking knows who that is, actually had a damn good game on the ground. We had a really good rushing attack against Dallas. And I think Brian Robinson actually being a lead back there for us and looking great in the preseason could muster up some sort of established running game that could help Carson Wentz in some of these short passes. I thought the game plan by Scott Turner was, for the most part, pretty good during this game compared to the other ones, but the execution by Carson and the absolute ineptitude of the offensive line. There are photos right now of our offensive linemen blocking each other. I'm not even playing. They're literally so lost in the sauce. They're blocking each other. I'll send it to you right after. It's ridiculous.
Is that not what you're supposed to do?
Not quite. Right?
Okay.
So there's that, but also the one side of the ball we thought was never going to get right after the first couple weeks of the season was the defense, and they are getting better. Save for playing William Jackson in the wrong position, who had 3 defensive pass interferences and gave him 70 yards. Also getting burnt by, I think it was CeeDee Lamb. It was either CeeDee Lamb or McGowan, but I think it was CeeDee Lamb for a 58-yarder where he was just kind of walking off into the end zone, didn't squeeze him anywhere near enough to help out. I think that if they play William Jackson in the position he should be, which is slot, potentially more man instead of zone, and have St. Juice playing the outside. I'm not sure where you put Fuller. I guess you got to put him on the outside, even though Fuller's also probably better as a slot corner. Cam Curl was one of the highest ranked players by PFF last week. So was Montez Sweat. In the interior line, as far as Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, still getting the job done. Zeke Elliott and Tony Pollard didn't do shit on the ground against us. If you look at the stat line on time of possession, we looked like we managed that game. I mean, we were leading in the second quarter. In the second half, we were right there in it. And then the penalty calls and the blunders just completely blew the doors off. So I'm hoping we get right against Tennessee, but we'll break it down. My concern index exactly where it was last week. What was it, 7 or 8?
Sam Howell time?
No, I am not on. So that's the thing that everybody here and watch. There's basically, I'd say 20% of the fan base want Carson Wentz starting next week. Another 40% want Taylor Heineke. I don't know why. And the other 40% want Sam Howell. Sam Howell behind that offensive line, the way they're blocking right now, is the worst possible idea ever.
I mean, just keep him in shotgun. He's definitely faster than Wentz.
They've been keeping Wentz in shotgun. He's been so shell-shocked, right. He keeps backing up further.
I'm just saying, give those speedy receivers a chance with some arm strength and maybe a little bit better of an understanding of how the position of quarterback should be played.
I think the move to Sam Howell is a terrible idea. I can understand the calls for Taylor Heineke, and the only reason is this. Taylor Heineke is an improviser. Carson Wentz looks like he's thinking about everything entirely too much during all of it, where he's not making any of the right decisions, right? You overthink it, you don't play instinctive in football. What happens? You get left behind, right? And that's what it feels like Carson Wentz is thinking. Like, it feels like every time he's dropping back, he's got 1,000 thoughts in his mind, and none of them are the right ones. It's a really, really sad sight to see.
Thinking sacked.
But once again, like I said, there were only 2 sacks, which I think I did the Dish or Divided podcast with Ahmed yesterday, and I asked him, how many sacks did you think they had? And he's like, it felt like 5 or 6. I was like, it's 2. it's crazy, but they did get pressure. The pressure was hot. The pressure was hot. And that's the thing. The pressure is hot. But the thing is, even with the pressure, is that what I've been wanting them to do on offense as far as getting the short throws out, they were there. He just wasn't taking them. Like, there were guys that were available in the check down, and he's pushed the ball further downfield for no goddamn reason other than trying to make a play where he doesn't need to make a play. This is also why he holds on the football so much goddamn longer than he needs to. You're not Ben Roethlisberger, Carson.
Hey, this is what I'll say, Keem. Okay, if y'all keep losing, y'all might as well put Sam Howell in. Like if y'all lose another, if by week 7 and y'all aren't where you think you should be, or no, week 8, week 9,
eliminated from the playoffs, I'll understand it.
And then if y'all are still bad, go ahead and go out and get Bryce Young next year.
My thought is that if we're eliminated from playoff contention, I'll listen to Sam Howell, because what we will know at that point, Carson Wentz is not the guy next year. Mm-hmm. And we have to see what we have on our team. We already know what we have in Taylor Heineke.
Wait, what did y'all give up for Carson Wentz?
Draft pick.
Which, how high?
It was like a second or something stupid.
Okay.
I forget. I mean, I remember it being, it wasn't a, we gave up something, but I don't think it was like mad significant, because you remember Indianapolis wanted to get him gone anyway.
Oh yeah, and then there was a thing that was like y'all gave up too much to get him.
Right. But the big thing with it was the salary implication. But the thing with the salary cap is that it's for this year. Yep. If it doesn't work, we can cut bait and move on to the next thing. But that's the thing. If we don't make the playoffs and Carson Wentz look like shit, there's a good chance we're looking at a new regime. So who knows?
And you guys swapped seconds and gave up a third.
That's about right.
Yeah. So yeah, I can go ahead and get Bryce Young.
But look, man, season's still very, very far from over. And as I've said,
it sure is.
Look, what I did my preseason prediction and actually went through all the Washington games, I'm only one game behind where I thought we'd be. So I'm not panicking like everybody else is. I don't like the way it's looked, of course, and I needed to be better, but I just don't think I'm in the same panic mode as everybody.
It's hard to watch.
It's not fun to watch. All right, on to the man that everybody wants to hear from.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do. Trust me. I'm not going to say necessarily like a fandom.
Oh no, it's like they want to see me upset. And sad.
You ever see Hellraiser?
No.
He has
the Cenobites. It's like these demon things from hell, but they want to see people suffer. Like they get off on the suffering of other people.
That's a fucking terrible fan base to have, bro.
Well, I mean, hey, you court, buddy.
Yeah, any press is good press.
No, it ain't. All right.
Well, Raiders got a win on the board. What were your thoughts? I'm going to start a timer just to keep things manageable. You
should have did a timer for yourself.
Hey, you kept talking to me during the Commanders thing. That was
at the end.
Yeah, I know, but I was good.
All right, cool. All right, so I mean, I don't have a lot. We actually ran the ball with Josh Jacobs, and we kept doing it because Josh Jacobs can definitely run the ball. The Broncos didn't get as much pressure as I thought they would, which shows that our offensive line is continuing to get better, which is encouraging. Patrick Surtain is nice. He's nice. Adam still had over 100 yards, but he is nice. They let him get away with a couple pass interferences, but whatever. Like, he earned it a little bit. Denzel Perryman being back was a huge difference. He went out with a concussion, and then you could see how, like, we kind of teetered off a little bit, but he's really fucking good. He can fill the gaps, and he's great in run defense. I feel bad for Melvin Gordon. I can't lie. I laughed a little bit at the press conference when they asked him, like, yeah, you said you did all this extra work and you still fumbled. How do you feel? And he was crying and he walked off. I laughed a little bit, but then I felt bad because Melvin Gordon's a cool guy. He just played for the Chargers and the Broncos. So
hold on to the ball.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, we had a lot of people out, but we still need pressure up the middle. We need Ndamukong too, and I would love to have Darrell Williams to come and take over the right tackle spot, and then I think we would be okay. And we need Hunter Renfrow back because he wasn't there either. And we still did what we did against a pretty solid Broncos defense.
Yeah, their offense is still bad.
Yeah, they still got some shit to figure out. Nathaniel Hackett.
Oh, they got right against us, which concerns the fuck out of me for next week. But it is what it is.
So that was
what you win.
So that's my thing. Nathaniel Hackett figuring out that on your resume, being friends with Aaron Rodgers is not enough. But beyond those things, your concern index last week was a 5 for the Raiders, right?
It's a 4.
So it's gone down.
Yeah, because it's like you get the win, you finally win fucking one, and then we'll just see if we can keep it rolling. I mean, we play the Chiefs next, which is not going to be easy, but if we fucking run the ball, that would help. But I don't know what the fuck is going to happen, so we'll see. But yeah, I mean, if we lose next week, it'll go back up to a 5. So everybody is waiting. That's what it's going to be. I don't give a shit how bad it is. Fuck y'all. But yeah, I mean, right now we're gonna go what 14-3 until we can't no more.
All right. So
That's what it is.
Yeah, all right. Well, you mentioned another team, and looking at the divisions, like the AFC West being what we all thought they were the best division in football, I think, going into the season. It's what 2 teams at 2-2, Kansas City at 3-1, Raiders at 1-3.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily off to the smashing start that we thought the AFC West would be. But the NFC, I mean, the NFC East is clearly the best division of football right now. But staying with the AFC West for just a moment, and knowing where it is with the Raiders.
Didn't some of them wins come against like each other?
Doesn't matter. So the bottom line.
Okay.
The bottom line, James, is where as I'm trying to segue into our next segment. Is looking at some of the games that we want to discuss that went down last weekend, sticking with the AFC West, big time showdown between Kansas City or the Patrick Mahomes led Kansas City Chiefs and Tom Brady's Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Knowing that now you guys have to go play Kansas City. Kansas City really put it to Tampa Bay, even though Tom Brady did his damnedest to keep back in it. What's up?
Let me add something.
What's up?
So, my brother's like coming up and down from Buffalo right now, right? Uh-huh. And he was over, we were watching the game together. And we were flipping the channels, right? And he's like, damn, it's a big difference when you like flip what we were just watching Carr. And then you turn over and watch the Chiefs later. He's like, fuck, that's a big ass difference.
So let's start. So start there. So Kansas City beats Tampa Bay. They do it fairly convincingly, even though the point differential by the end was only 10. Once again, Tom Brady did everything he could to lead a comeback charge, and we know Kansas City's defense is not where we would want it to be as far as the caliber of offense they got. But what are your takeaways from that game? How are you even feeling? I don't need you to fully preview what's happening next week as far as the Raiders game, but how are you feeling about the Chiefs?
I mean, status quo. Like, we thought that the loss of Tyreek Hill was going to be more detrimental to the team than it is at this moment. Like, no, that's fair. But looking at it now, it's like, damn, Mahomes is that guy. Like, we knew he was, but it was like, all right, how's the loss of Tyreek Hill going to affect him? And this dude is up here doing magic tricks during the game. Like, it's ridiculous. He is the MVP at this moment. Like, there's not much else I can say. Like, I don't want to play the Chiefs on Monday Night Football in front of the world. Yeah. Don't you bitches text me. I don't want the text from none of y'all. Don't text me.
After watching this game, I would say that the vaunted Bucs run defense got walloped. That Pacheco kid, who I'd never heard of,
11 for 63,
was running. Clyde Edwards-Helaire,
19
over
for 92.
100. Yeah, like 100 yards. And when that happens too early, you can't control the clock. I think the Bucs had like 6 rushing yards or 10 or something like wildly low. And we know the way to beat the Chiefs is to keep the ball out of Patty's hands. But when you have Tom Brady having to throw 400 fucking yards just to stay in contention, I think if you can, Patty also made some mistakes. So I think if you can control the clock better than the Bucs were able to, and I was shocked because they usually can control the run. Patty's still making some mistakes. That offensive line still has some issues. That was a fun fucking game. But like, I have a sneaking suspicion that Josh Jacobs will be running more than 6 yards against the Chiefs. So I think you guys have a little bit better of a shot. If you don't go down, 14-0 in the first. So
we'll see what Josh McDaniels got.
Patty Mahomes, what do you have? 249 yards. Like, that's not groundbreaking.
3 TDs, a pick, sacked 3 times.
The plays that he made was just like ridiculous.
I mean, that one touchdown was absolutely absurd.
And it's like, with normal people, that's a sack, but with him, it's a touchdown. And like that, if that happens twice a game, like that's the difference between winning and losing.
Yeah, but when he does those kind of plays, some of the times he's throwing an interception. So it doesn't all turn out as pretty as that one looked.
It's the gunslinger.
The issue is,
shit, you know what I mean?
I know, but the issue is with us, we haven't had that many interceptions. So
yeah, no, I think it's gonna be a long day for Vegas. But the other team, as we talked about, the rushing stats for Tampa Bay were holy shit. Rashad White, 3 carries for 6 yards. Leonard Fournette, 3 carries for -3 yards.
Is that
Can't
good?
win that way.
Did he get hurt?
It looks like he's just not in the cards more than they want Rashad White, or because they were out of it, they were like, Fournette's not part of the game plan anymore.
No, that doesn't.
In the last 2 weeks, it hasn't necessarily looked great for Fournette as somebody who has him on his fantasy team. But so talking about Tampa Bay, I think we're all Kansas City. For some people that might have thought Tyreek Hill would have caused a detriment to the offense, Kansas City is still fairly elite. At least Patrick Mahomes is elite. They're going to continue to win some games. I don't think anybody's too surprised about that. But Tampa Bay, news came out today that Tom Brady and Gisele have hired divorce lawyers, and I got to get in the whole TMZ of it all, even though fuck you, Antonio Brown. But where do you see Tampa Bay going? I mean, the NFC South is the NFC South. Yeah, Carolina, Atlanta, fucking New Orleans. Tom Brady being distracted as far as everything's happening off the field.
Okay.
What do you have Tampa Bay doing going forward?
I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
I feel like we've all here have gone through breakups at some point in time. When
divorce hits different.
Okay. But when that happens, do you put yourself more into like another activity like work? You know, people put all their like emotions and everything into work and focus on work to get away. I can see Brady doing that.
Yeah, he's married to the game.
I will say this. When I went through my divorce and I tried to bury myself in work, I
wasn't going to bring that up.
Well, I'm going to say it. But
you literally tried to bring that up.
I did not.
You answered a question by asking a question.
One of us has been through a divorce. So.
No, you brought up divorce. I didn't bring up divorce.
Saying, Tom got divorced. I'm saying breakups are a little different than divorce. I'm just saying. When I tried to pour all my heart and soul in this other things, there was an initial like boost of like, oh, holy shit. I'm like, I'm focused now. I've got no more distractions. I'm going to do it. And I realized that while I might have been doing more work, the quality of my work necessarily wasn't great. You know what I mean? Because you're distracted, right? And look, Tom does not look great. I think nobody speculated he's been sick or anything, but he's looked like a sad, mopey fuck at the press conferences. I think we have how many Microsoft Surface tablets have been lost this season thanks to Mr. Brady?
At least one a game.
Yeah, it's been rough. But
now you get fined for doing that by the league.
The Brady rule.
He has the
what are you gonna say?
I was gonna say he has the money. I was like,
he does. Gisele ain't taking shit. She got more than he does.
I know. How's that gonna work?
But I think this.
Is he gonna apply for spousal support?
I don't think no. The TB12 method is gonna take off. I bought one of those water bottles.
Do you know like what I think it was Mary J. Blige's husband got spousal support?
Yeah, because who the fuck is Mary J. Blige's husband?
I don't know.
Is it Tom Brady?
The greatest football player that's ever lived?
It's based on your income.
All right, let me ask you this question. All right, so y'all are Tom Brady. You made $100 million in your career, but your wife has at least $3 billion, and you get divorced. Are you not taking some money?
No,
No, I got a $300 million contract with Fox coming as soon as I decide.
Also,
to hang
Well,
out.
shit.
I live in Florida.
She might get you off of that. She might get you off of that.
She's not gonna hit. You just said she's worth how many billions of dollars?
Yeah, and she could say, you know what? Hey,
I don't think she's a
I
billionaire.
don't want you to have that.
Yeah, no, it's not gonna happen. And I'm pretty sure that his decision to pick football over his marriage happened right after retirement. So she was probably like, it's either me or football. And he goes, it's you, honey. And they got home. He's like, fuck no, it is football.
I honestly feel like it's something like that was going to happen regardless if he was there or not.
I don't know about that. But hey, I don't want to get into speculation about their relationship. I will say
all that this is about.
No, I phrased the question on what it would mean for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going forward. I clearly stated that.
So
right,
Tom Brady had
his quality of work is going to be better.
He had 385 yards and 3 touchdowns last game. I'm not worried about Tom Brady. Now, do we get to Tom Brady who's throwing surfaces at defenders when they miss tackles? Or does he tell his offensive lineman to go fuck off when he doesn't, do his assignment? I hope so. Tom Brady doesn't like losing. And I don't like watching Tom Brady lose unless it's against the Bills.
The Raiders.
Yeah, I picked Tampa Bay to win this game, and the only reason I picked this game is I never usually bet on Tom losing back-to-back games, but this is the second time it's happened with Tampa Bay. I don't think it ever happened in New England except for like maybe 20 years ago, but it's happened now twice with Tampa Bay that they have lost back-to-back games with Tom Brady at quarterback. But no, I'm with you guys. I get for the most part, at least what James is saying. I think Tom's going to be on a fucking vengeance tour, and I also think Tampa Bay is getting healthier. More than they're getting hurt. So with Godwin getting more back into the fold, and they have Mike Evans is back off the suspension, they figure out Rashad White, even though the 3 carries is not that great, him and Fournette I think could be a legitimate tandem. I like Fournette a lot. I didn't have Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl this year, but I think everything that I'm seeing with Tom right now and what he's going through, and that motherfucker loves a chip on his shoulder, I might be willing to say that they're going far. That's just me. Cool.
They need to run the fucking ball, but I agree.
They will.
Yeah, I don't think there are going to be a lot of games in the NFC where Tampa Bay's down 14-0 early, right?
They're not going to go against Patrick Mahomes for a long time. So,
all right, now another matchup that happened last night there on Monday Night Football from when we're recording the podcast is the NFC West matchup. NFC West has always been considered like upper echelon division, I guess, recently, right? And I know that Keem predicted this game right. I know I did not. I don't know who else predicted it right. But Kyle Shanahan once again proving Sean McVay's his bitch, and San Francisco whooped that ass to the LA Rams. Where do you see the trajectory for both of these teams going forward in the NFC West after that game?
Yo, Jared Goff looked like Carson Wentz out there. Jared Goff could not figure out where to go with the ball.
Jared Goff plays for the Detroit
Not
Lions.
Goff. Sorry.
Matt Stafford.
Matt Stafford looked like Jared Goff.
Right.
Looked like Jared Goff out there.
It was a perfect description. It's just
it was he couldn't figure out where to go with the ball. It was literally Cooper Kupp and was it Higbee?
Yeah, Tyler Higbee.
There were so many times where he was just stood there frozen and went down with the ball. Cooper Kupp is still an elite player. Like his route running is phenomenal. That Robinson guy might as well just retire because he's not going to get the ball thrown to him. But I think that the Niners defense and Debo, you could put me at quarterback with Debo on my team, and we're probably going to win a couple games. They're the best team in that division by a large margin.
Jimmy G's San Francisco 49ers.
Look, Jimmy G is made better by the players around him. I don't think he is an elite quarterback, but when you get Debo Samuel the ball, he trucks a defender.
He's no Geno Smith. I agree.
MVP candidate. You know who has the highest completion percentage in the league right now is Geno Smith. But like that team as constructed is defense wins championships, and it was proven because they whooped that ass. And I know the final score doesn't really look like ass whooping, but
24-9?
24-9
Right.
in the San Francisco offense, that's an ass whooping.
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. That is a decent to very decent to good offense for the Rams at this point, getting absolutely shut down. I would not want to see the Jimmy G's 49ers at any point in this season. So like Jalen Ramsey looked dumb.
I'm going to hop in so that James can finish up this segment for us. I want you to go no longer, maybe than I. Matt Stafford or Jared Goff, if you're Ryan, got sacked 7 times.
Or Carson Wentz. They all look the same.
He got sacked 7 times. And my thing with this is that when I see Matt Stafford play football, you know that song, it's like from the 50s, 60s, I only have eyes for you. Cooper Kupp. They need to healthy scratch that motherfucker. Okay? Matt Stafford has blinders on for everyone not named Cooper Kupp. And it's ridiculous. Allen Robinson is not a scrub. And I'm sick and tired of this shit being said about him. The way they're utilizing him in this offense is not conducive to getting any real results with him. I don't know why the phone call hasn't been made to Odell, because I guess Matt likes Odell to some degree. But there is this, it feels as though we were talking about with Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill, right? And how it is that he's kind of looked almost better this season without Tyreek, in the sense of he's got to look through his progressions and make the right move, right? And take what the defense has given him at times. Stafford you get sacked 7 times, you get that many targets to one guy on an offense that got some guys that deserve to get the ball. I'm glad Higbee got his 10 receptions, but 6 targets to Allen Robinson compared to 19 and 14 targets to those other 2 guys, respectively.
Bro, Robinson missed one that hit him in the face. And then the other 2, he just fell down as soon as he caught the ball.
Which
like he had oil on the bottom of his shoes.
Totally understood.
Jared Goff may have done that.
But totally understood. But the thing is that when you have an Allen Robinson, who, if you look at his size, speed, is comparable to a lot of guys that Matt Stafford has had in years. Usually the second complimentary guy, like Golden Tate, stuff like that. Marvin Jones. Like, I think he could really be something special in this offense if they fed him more. I think that he's a guy that needs to get fed more of the football to really make a difference. I'm surprised Sean McVay hasn't figured this out yet, because it just looks like an offense that is built around getting the ball to this one dude. And I don't think that that's going to work for them.
And just one more thing before we toss it over to Mr. Ferguson. Trent Williams didn't play in that game. And he wasn't. It was like he was still there. Just saying, I think that's how good the 49ers are on both sides of the ball right now.
The 49ers under Jimmy G are Super Bowl contenders every year, and I don't want to hear shit about else.
Would they be Super Bowl contenders if they had Geno Smith instead?
They would be Super Bowl champions. I would pencil them in today.
No.
Ridiculous.
What's the difference between Geno Smith and
Jimmy G? Trust.
Porn star. Oh, okay. Sorry.
The team look, I've been saying this since last year. Come on, I'm the only one that kept saying that he was not going to get traded. He was going to stay on the San Francisco 49ers. And the reason I keep saying that team loves and believes in him. And when you get that close to getting these Super Bowls, even though, yes, that has been the ceiling, right?
What, Super Bowl appearance?
NFC Championship appearances has been the ceiling for them. And that's why they went and got Trey Lance, is Keem put me in my place, and that's why they went and did it, right? Was to get over that hump. But I think the trust factor that they have with Jimmy G and how much they love that guy makes them want to play hard for him. I don't think anybody else in that locker room commands that team the way that he does.
Oh, I mean, that's evident.
I mean, it's just been there for a long time.
Yeah,
It
that
counts.
means that you're friends.
But that's the thing is like it's one thing if they were having losing records, right? If they were having losing records and they kept looking at this dude like, when are we going to upgrade this fucker? But I think there's a part of these teams that think, yo, we were almost there. If you give us another fucking shot, we'll be able to do it. And they don't want to quit on each other to do that. I think there's an element of that.
Yeah, and the other part is like the rest of the team is actually really fucking good. They don't really have holes.
Solid built team.
Yeah.
All right. What else? What else you got on it, James?
The Rams are not who we thought they were. OBJ is I think they said the earliest he can be cleared is like in November. So I think that's why he's not like on the team yet. I wouldn't go back to LA. You see why Von Miller left? Like,
yeah, he went through the he was at the Giants facility today or yesterday.
yeah, but I mean, they're saying like he was hanging out with his with like friends that he knew on the team, and then they try to say it was a visit.
He's octopusing right now. He's just got his feelers just everywhere because when he comes back, that is
he's
a hot
not
commodity.
signing with the Giants.
Octopusing?
Yeah, he's got his tentacles out.
Never heard that phrase. I like it. I understood.
But yeah, he's not signing with the Giants.
Man,
Landon Collins might.
I think if Saquon keeps doing what he's doing.
Oh, and y'all were talking about Matt Stafford having blinders on, right? It reminds me of the same, like, because Kevin O'Connell is the coach for the Vikings now, and he brought the offense over from the Rams, and they're doing the same thing with Justin Jefferson. It's just that Adam Thielen still kind of gets his a little bit. They can run the ball with Dalvin Cook. I haven't seen much of a running game in LA, so
I think the difference there with Thielen is that Thielen can be the slot guy, right? You're not asking Robinson to be the slot guy.
Yeah.
So like the routes that he's gonna run, but you gotta feed him.
Jefferson's in the slot too.
Jefferson goes everywhere.
He's mainly in the slot.
Mainly in the slot, but where's Cooper Rush? Where's Cooper Kupp?
Everywhere.
See what I'm saying?
But Justin Jefferson mainly runs his routes in the slot. That's kind of like the knock on him. Like when people like you say that he's like the best receiver in the NFL, it's like, all right, well, shut up. It's like, all right, well, he's running all his routes in the fucking slot. You got to be on the outside for me to be considered the best, but whatever.
All right.
Yeah, I ain't talking about that. But yeah, I mean, the Rams have to get their shit together. Jalen Ramsey's looked bad. He's been on highlight tapes for other people more than ever right now. So you gotta get it together, but he's still a great player, so I can see him doing that.
And good hit by Bobby Wagner on the dude in the field. Solid.
And apparently the dude's gonna try to sue.
He can try all he wants to.
Yep. Dude, did you see the guy who was dressed in all black, who was like one of the first people on the field, whose ACL just died?
Yeah.
That guy should sue the other guy.
Exactly.
And he get Bobby Wagner's money. Jokes on that guy.
A workplace accident.
All right.
That was a work. Oh God, that thing looked terrible.
Hey, you get workers' comp for that? You get workers' comp for that, right?
I'm sure. Because like if that was a job.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, off that NFC West match up to something that we talked about last week. We're not going to really review the game, but we could review what happened over the last 2 weeks. Tua Tagovailoa. It was announced today by Mike McDaniel that he will not be playing in the upcoming game. I think against the Jets. They have the Jets coming up. So
it doesn't even matter. He could have been playing against us. He shouldn't have been playing.
So this is where we go down to. When we talked last week, it was we did the episode before the Thursday night game. It didn't drop until after the Thursday night game, so we didn't really get to discuss what happened on that Thursday night game. Break it down, James. What happened?
Tua got sacked. That was against y'all, right?
So the first
one was against y'all. Yeah, he played against Cincinnati, right? Was it Cincinnati?
Right. I think it was Cincinnati. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the lineman threw him down, and his head bounced off the turf, and I forgot what the clinical term was. It for
fencing.
It was for.
I think it's
the fencing position. Yeah, the fencing position, where his hands like did some weird movements and got real stiff. It's scary. And then there was another part saying like he had a concussion so quick after the first one, because I don't give a shit what nobody says. The first one was a concussion. You could tell. And then now he definitely had a concussion. And funnily enough, the guy from the movie Concussion, the doctor, he recommended that Tua should retire at this point. And if he does, he could sue the pants off the NFL and all the whole, like, everybody for putting him back out there. Yeah, like at this point, you got to think about the rest of your life. Like, this is a game, but you got to think about the rest of your life. Like, CTE is a thing. Like, I'm still like terrified about it based on the concussions that I had like in high school. Like, you got to still wake up in the morning. Like, you may think like, yeah, I still have to prove myself in this league, but look at like Tom Brady now, right? He's done all the things you can do, but he has shit going on outside of it that, like, once he's done, he still has to deal with that. Just like you, once you're done, you're still going to have to deal with this. So you should leave while you can, take the money that you're going to get from the league and do something else. It is not worth it.
Antonio Brown, you love the game. Case theory on that.
Fuck Antonio Brown. But it's not worth it. Like, you still got to, you want to be able to wake up in the morning and actually like play with your kids that you have. You see what I'm saying? So I think he should walk away.
All right,
it's not worth it.
So that's it from like Tua's perspective, but from a league standpoint, everybody saw what happened in the Bills game when it came to hit. He stumbled. They say it was a back and leg injury, which I've never seen anybody ankle. I've never seen anybody stumble like that after taking clearly a hit on the head with a back injury. Ryan, you got something?
Yeah, if your back locks up, if you try to walk, you bend over to try and pick something up.
You don't do that. I've had my back lock up. I got terrible knee issues. My leg locks up pushing a grocery cart all the time, walking through Giant. It don't look like that. So
it's like a wobble,
but they cleared him to come back in the game. They cleared him to come back in the game. Then against the Cincinnati game, then in the Cincinnati game, Tua, number one, was holding on to the football entirely way too goddamn long. It's totally preventable. But then he gets hit, gets slammed on the ground. After the game, he gets rushed to the hospital. After the game, Mike McDaniel thought about how he was watching McGruber on his iPhone on the plane. But it looks as though the league and the doctor that cleared him in the Bills game was let go. The NFLPA has the option to do that for any of the independent guys. Apparently, during the investigation, they didn't like what the dude had to say, or apparently he was extremely hostile when they were talking to him or asking him anything. But it looks as though the league's going to actually change the rules, at least some of the language on the protocols on guys getting back. So James took it from a Tua perspective. But Ryan, where's the league's responsibility in this? Where's the league as far as where the protocol should be, or what went wrong and what needs to happen going forward?
So the issue with the league, for basically the existence of the league, is the league is more important than the players. First off, I put it squarely on the shoulders of the league. But also the onus is on everybody, right? They have a spotter, right? They have the independent neurologist. They have their own fucking team doctor. They're both supposed to do the evaluation. I'm a firm believer that if I was Coach McDaniels, in hindsight, at this point, if I had seen that, I would have pulled him. Right. And it is on the league, because the league is supposed to protect the players. But if you see something like that, or something close to it, or something that could be a concussion, that one game doesn't really matter. Right. You need to pull the player immediately. There needs to be an independent evaluation. But if you see something like that, where they're wobbling, stumbling, having trouble talking, any of those signs, even if the independent neurologist is like, well, he's gone. That game's over for you. I'm very sorry. But it's in the best interest of your player, right? Of both the player for the NFL and of the team. And I also saw a clip where Tua might have gotten hit in the head right before the other hit in the head in that same game when he was trying to get into the end zone and got demolished and ended up fumbling the ball. For me, there has to be a whole new hierarchy, right? There should be multiple people, and if one person says no, then it's a no. Dude, that was scary as shit. And I love Tua. The way he embraced Josh Allen after whipping his ass. And you know, I kind of agree with you, James. I feel like the money aside, like just irrespective of whatever he could sue the league for, which I'm assuming is 350 million, 300 million, something like that.
Potential earnings, yeah.
To wake up in the morning when you're in your mid 30s or early 40s and not being able to get from the bed to the kitchen is probably worse than missing out on a Super Bowl, right? And at this point, I'm sure he could.
That's
I'm
the
sure
thing
he
that
could
can't
coach.
heal, bro.
Yeah, I'm sure he could coach. Also, Aaron Judge is 62. I'm sure he could coach. There's lots of other ways he can be involved in football with that kind of injury. And you see it with like the people who have injuries where their spines are severed, or you know, they have triple compound fractures in legs and arms, and they're just not physically capable. The problem with the brain injury is you look physically capable, but the damage on the back end of that, it ain't worth it. Like you can get up and do shit when your leg has been, you know, you have a compound fracture in your leg or compound fracture in your shoulder. It might hurt when it rains, but you're still there cognitively. To be a vegetable, I was gonna say mushroom, but yeah, that's a vegetable. To be a vegetable way early on in your life because of decisions that you made in your career doesn't make sense to me. So, hey, whatever he decides to do is 100% his decision in his life. I'm just saying what I would do. And I think the league needs to step in to take these players out before they can potentially harm themselves.
Which is, I have this, the NFL and the NFL Players Association have agreed to parameters of an updated concussion protocol that will rule players out who exhibit gross motor instability, as Tua Tagovailoa did during the Dolphins' Week 3 game against the Bills, regardless of any possible contributing factors. And that could be implemented before the games on Sunday.
And look,
so I want to add two more things.
All right. I was just saying, if you as an individual, they pull you, they do their due diligence. If you as an individual make the decision later, not that game, but like if once they clear you to come back, that's 100% your decision, right? Like you're not in the brain fog, but they need to protect the players from themselves, because once you're concussed, you're not thinking correctly. Let them heal, let them, you know, go through all the tests and steps and then make their own independent decision. But the initial decision has to be made, and has to be made fast, because you get those back to back.
Yep.
James, I want to hop in real quick just with a couple points, and then we'll finish up the segment with you. The things that I look at when it comes to this is and it's something we've talked about before, not even with just football, but we've talked about it even with combat sports, be it boxing, things like that, as far as there's still a gladiator aspect to these sports because of the potential harm that gets done. And there is an element that once you sign up to do that, you do understand some of the risk. That being said, there's also the way the media and the fans and the players treat each other and treat players overall, in the sense of trying to be the Iron Man, trying to be the guy that can always come back, lead your team to victory. We lionize those guys. You don't want to be looked upon as weak, which is where I think majority of that, the decision needs to be taken out of the hands of the players. When something like that happens, especially in the short term. And I know people have talked about like oh, some people could, what happens if a coach just says, oh, I saw something, but it's not that because there's a contract. We can't go down that road. The slippery slope theory is fucking bullshit. What we have to do is look at these individual cases. But what I also think is Tom Brady was asked about this, I think today, yesterday, a few days ago. And his thing was that he thought that the league should be moving more into a preventative aspect than it was what we're doing after the fact. Because I think what people don't understand about the concussion thing is that, yes, there's the degradation that can happen over a long period of time, which is what we've been seeing with a lot of the CTE. But I think what people don't understand is the acute issues that happen sustaining a second concussion after you didn't heal from the first one. There are significant things that you cannot bounce back from if you get a concussion and not have healed from the first one. If I'm the Miami Dolphins, I shut Tua down for the next 4 to 6 weeks until we know that you were completely healed from this. And the other thing that the league needs to answer from me is if they knew after the Bills game that what happened with Tua was under investigation, why in the fuck would you let him play until the investigation is over?
That's a very good point.
And I don't understand why more people aren't talking about that aspect of it. If you know that there's a chance, that's the reason you're investigating it, is you're not sure what went on. He should not have been allowed to play when it comes to the health and safety of these athletes. All right, James.
It's Tua versus the Bengals.
So I have 4 things now. Thursday night games shouldn't happen. It's too quick of a turnaround. Tua got concussed on Sunday, played again on Thursday, had another bad one. The Dolphins are really stupid because they have Teddy Bridgewater. Like
Teddy B, 2 gloves.
Like he's the perfect person to put out there rather than Tua again. Also, I was listening to Channing Crowder talk about the concussions that he's had, and he also played in Miami. He said he got concussion, fell asleep on the field. They woke him up. They took him to the sideline. He fell asleep again on the sideline, and then they got a turnover. So Zach Thomas had to line him up. So they put him back on the field, and he had to line him up and tell him what the hell was going on. Stuff like that. And then another one is, I know people haven't given Mike McDaniel too much, but he should get some blame his way too, based on the stuff that he's saying. I treat Tua like my son and all this other stuff. It brought me back to an interview that the Pivot did with Mike Tomlin when they were discussing Ryan Clark and how he had his illness and he almost died in Denver. So the next time they went back, Ryan Clark wanted to play. And then he did a whole presentation to Mike Tomlin saying this is why I should play. And he was like, no, if you were my son, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. And you got to protect the players from themselves, like Ryan said. So for him to say oh yeah, Tua's like my son, what? You wouldn't treat your son that way. You wouldn't put him back out there.
That actually brings me. Were those
when I have kids, I love the game of football. They're not playing football. They're gonna play soccer.
That was actually going to be my question to everybody before we moved on to the picks.
Nope.
Was
I said this years ago.
Would you allow your kid to play football?
Nope.
So no from you, Ryan.
Not at where it is right now. If I'm sure that they can build stabilize
the helmets they've been wearing and the caps they've been wearing in training camp. Some people are saying do those game time. I've always been a fan of getting rid of the helmets in the first place.
I would, because it makes you hit differently. I at where it's at now, absolutely not. But if they could make it safer, then potentially. But
it can't.
Well, we just talked about a couple things.
Have you seen how much baseball players get paid? And I'm 5'2". My kid's not playing fucking football anyway.
I mean, you could be a running back.
All right, fair enough. I think
Maurice
it's
Jones-Drew went out there,
much more likely that
Doug
my
Martin
kid,
action.
Darius Sproles.
Yeah. Do you say Darius?
I think I did.
You did.
I don't remember his name.
Darren
Darren.
Sproles.
Damn.
Well, he was in
I
our
get
division. He was in our division forever. So
Yeah.
Fucker. My thought was that I let any of my kids play football, but first concussion, you're done. All right. That is it. Let's go into our week 5 picks.
also, Tua, get better, man.
Yeah,
Even
please.
if you don't play another snap.
And hey, I've seen a lot of people on Twitter. McGruber, underrated, good flick. Glad he found it funny. Tua's got pretty good taste. All right, week 5 picks. Keem's not here, but he sent his picks in to you, right, James?
No.
He did not send his picks in.
No, he said he'd pick them on the app.
Oh, you just pick them on the app. All right, so we won't know Keem's picks for these games. Doesn't really.
We should be able to see them.
Nope.
Not yet. But it doesn't really matter. He's in 3rd place. Who gives a shit about 3rd place? Your boy, of course, still number 1 in the pick segment and also undefeated in our ASOS Fantasy Football League. Where you at, Fantasy Doctor? Undefeated. Now, I've been fairly lucky. Yeah, my points favored compared to points against.
Wait, so you beat him?
No, I haven't played. No, I did beat the. I beat the Fantasy Doctor last week.
Did you talk to him?
No.
Oh,
he's talking to him right now.
Talking to him right now. I ain't going that far. I like him to come on the pod.
Talk to him on Twitter. Like, I interact with him.
All right, we'll see. All right, so let's go through. I'm going to go through based on what it is showing me on Yahoo. So we'll start out with the Thursday night game. Hopefully, if this pod gets updated, you watched this right before it. Indianapolis at Denver. Who you got starting, Ryan?
I think the Colts are starting to put some things together. I don't like the way the Broncos look, so I'm going to take the Colts as the underdog.
Damn, because they played us. True.
James?
I have the Colts just based on the fact that Jonathan Taylor, Josh Jacobs ran all over him, so Jonathan Taylor can do the same thing, and I believe they still have Quentin Nelson. So,
now, Jonathan Taylor, from what I'm told, might not play Thursday.
It don't matter. Like, Patrick Surtain is great, and he'll guard Michael Pittman, but that's fine. They can still run on him. I still have the Colts.
I am going the Denver Broncos. Everything you guys said is true. Indianapolis should be much better than they are. You're right. They've started to put some steps in. But with the steps in, Jonathan Taylor's not getting the carries. I don't think they know what they are on offense yet. I'm going to go with Denver. I just think that defense in Russell Wilson during primetime, shit always seems to go his way. So I'm just going to go with that. Next up, the New York Football Giants, or as I call them, the New Jersey Saquon Barkleys at Green Bay.
For now. Saquon leaving.
Who you got, James?
Packers.
This one doesn't need to be discussed. Daniel Jones,
I got a 5%, like only 5% of the people picked them.
Well, I think next week when Keem gets back, we'll probably do our legitimate contenders versus pretenders segment, being that the league is seeing a lot of parity with almost everybody at 2-2.
8. Let's wait till like week 8.
Maybe
we do it now, and then we look at how stupid we were 6 weeks.
Yeah, we could do it multiple times. I mean, we don't need a lot of the segments before we do all the picks.
Yeah, we don't have like segments except for like panic indicator. Like that's our segment right now.
All right, so Green Bay across the board. Not sure about Keem.
We all know the next one.
Pittsburgh at Buffalo. Who you got?
We all know the next one.
I mean,
we all Bills. Like we go on.
Bills at home. Bills.
Go Bills.
All right, next up, Chargers at Cleveland. This is the one I probably struggle with the most. James, start with you.
Fuck them, but the Chargers.
Ryan.
Herbert.
Fuck. I'm going Chargers too, but
they need to protect him too.
They need to protect him, but I think the big thing for this game, the Browns should be able to run all over the Chargers.
Oh, yeah.
And if they can keep that time possession, man.
They need to protect his ribs. The team needs to protect Herbert. You don't need those? Because he got hurt too, and they were down, it was like 30-something to 10 or something stupid, and they still had him out there?
Well, this is one of those things that you heard Staley even talk about it. Herbert wants to play. And
I don't give a shit what he wants.
I get it. We
It's
just
not
talked about a
injury-
concussion thing.
It's not an injury that could linger.
Once it's healed, it's healed. The only thing right now he's got to deal with is a lot of fucking pain, which I just think is kind of dumb to be out there playing because you're totally not 100%. Even though they have, I think, the number one in pass yards per game. But once again, I still think the Browns have a legit shot at winning this game.
He's got 20 yards over the Bills. That's fine.
All right, Chicago.
Kenny Allen's coming back too, right?
Oh, yeah, sounds right. Chicago at Minnesota, Ryan.
I picked Chicago last week.
Just keep it going.
Damn. Nope.
Vikings.
James.
Vikings
as well. Looks like we're picking a lot of these games the same way.
No, here's
Detroit at New England. This is where it starts to split. Yeah. James, let's go with you. Ooh. Ryan?
Damn it. I also have Detroit.
New England Patriots. Patriots actually look really fucking good. And the new kid, Zappy, apparently Robert Kraft is in love with him.
Yeah, he's got a great name.
Look, other than I really do think the New England Patriots are, this might be the kiss of death, but I think they're good. I think they're actually pretty good. And I think Zappy could light a fire, so I'm going New England.
Where did Tom Brady go to college?
Michigan.
Yeah. Something about those schools. Zappy went to Western Kentucky, which I don't know if you know about them, but they're an elite collegiate program.
I'm just wondering, what the fuck does Michigan have to do at West Kentucky University?
I'll just say this: like, where does Detroit play? Where do the Lions play?
Michigan.
So,
what are y'all saying? What does anything mean?
I was making a joke.
Let's just move on.
Zappy
I was trying to figure out.
They're not playing in Michigan either. They're playing in New England.
Is he saying that because they're in Michigan, like?
But the dude went to Western Kentucky.
Yeah, I'm saying, he went to a nowhere school, and he's just in here trying to be on an NFL team.
Where did Mac Jones go to school? Right, at Bama. He Bama quarterback.
Yeah. Alabama. Yeah.
All right. Seattle.
That stupid ass picture with the cigar.
Seattle at New Orleans. Go ahead, Ryan. Pick Gino.
Oh, you mean legitimate at this point in the season? Legitimate MVP contender, Geno Smith? Hey, they wrote him off. He ain't right back. Geno Smith.
All right, so he's got Seattle. James?
Nah, you go first this time.
I can do that. I got the Saints.
All right. I actually have Seattle. I don't know the status of Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, Jameis Winston, some pieces on their defensive line, or their defense hasn't played well either. Yeah.
Totally fair. Who played quarterback for them in London?
Andy Dalton.
The ginger.
Turn the redhead. Love it.
Well,
all right.
You hear he's been stuck in the airport because they kept thinking he was a prince. Anyway.
That's good. Miami at the New York Jets. Ryan. No, James, start with you.
I had the Dolphins, but I'm switching to the Jets.
This was really tough for me because I know Teddy Two Gloves is a very good fill-in.
Perfect replacement to do it.
However, sauce, man.
Yeah, and Zach Wilson's back.
And Zach Wilson and Gisele just liked his post. So he's going to be out here.
I don't even know if that's true. But
I don't either, but I'm taking it.
Nah, because like
Jets.
That's like some menace behavior, bro.
Yo, people are petty as fuck, man.
I know, but damn.
Like famous people are more petty because they can throw money at you and you go away. I'm taking the Jets.
But like you gotta keep it classy.
I had the Jets until I realized there's no chance three of us can pick the Jets. So I'm going Dolphins. Next up, Atlanta at Tampa Bay. Anybody got any interesting things to say about this one?
No.
Unless Desmond Ridder plays in that game and also Tom Brady dies, then there is no chance that Atlanta wins.
Cordell Patterson's out too.
Out.
All right, Tampa Bay across the board. The Tennessee Titans versus the Washington Commanders. I'll go last. We'll start.
All right,
with
let me go
Ryan.
first.
We'll start with James.
So originally, I was gonna pick the Commanders. After seeing how the Titans are using Derrick Henry now, gotta go with the Titans. They're using him in the passing game, which is ridiculous at this point.
Yeah. I'm going Commanders. I think that the run defense is about all Washington has right now. And maybe it's Terry McLaurin finally catches more than 2 passes. Yeah, I'm going Commanders.
I am also going Commanders. This is my red alert game. This is the game that I predicted. This is where we start kind of putting together a run. There's not a lot indicating that would happen, but I think the Tennessee Titans, their strength being the rushing offense, our strength being our rushing defense. As a matter of fact, also running backs out of the backfield have not really had a whole lot of success against us. I am worried about our issues sometimes in the secondary when it comes to tackling and Derrick Henry in space, but Ryan Tannehill having a Robert Woods who doesn't look great, Traylon Burks who doesn't look phenomenal.
Traylon Burks is out.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's
he looks even
Which
worse.
is why they have to have Derrick Henry involved in the passing game. So, I'm going to go with Washington, the get right game. I think it'll still be ugly, but give me the Commanders. Houston at Jacksonville. Ryan.
Jacksonville.
No, Jacksonville. Ryan. Jacksonville. Jacksonville across the board. San Francisco at Carolina.
We don't know.
San Francisco.
Yeah.
All right. Dallas at LA Rams. Who wants to go first?
I'll go with the Rams.
I'm going Rams as well.
Yeah. Get back game.
I don't think they're getting back anywhere. I think this is going to be like 45-40.
Which is nuts when you think about it.
Yeah. I don't think Cooper Rush loses. I think that's just Jerry's world. And so I'm taking Dallas.
Following my entire storyline.
No, it makes sense at this point, doesn't it?
No, the way that my story runs as far as the whole Jerry Jones, Dak Prescott thing goes, this is the game that Cooper Rush loses. Then they get Dak to come back in, but Dak's going to struggle. So, yeah, give me the Rams. Philly at Arizona.
Philly.
The Philly defense too good. Give me Philly.
I look at Philly, but I do think this is one of those games where Philly's not going to go undefeated. They got to lose some of them. I think the Cardinals could be interesting. Kyler Murray could make things interesting on the ground.
Want a bit?
Now, Cincinnati at Baltimore. Cincinnati starting to look good.
I got Baltimore.
Yeah, I got Baltimore too.
Baltimore as well. We are not disagreeing on enough games. And
we'll disagree on this one.
Oh shit, you're gonna do it? All right.
Yeah.
So the Monday night game. The Vegas Raiders versus the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going Chiefs. Ryan.
Raiders.
Whoa.
My man.
Hey man, they're gonna run all over that Chiefs defense. I think all the things that went the Chiefs' way last week, pendulum's got to swing.
See, I hate that bullshit. Like, fuck the pendulum. God damn it.
I'm a pendulum guy.
Like, can't piss me off with that bullshit. Like,
it's real though.
No. If you catch the ball. Like, if you put your hands on, you catch the fucking ball.
Who's covering Devontae Adams?
Oh no, I'm picking the Raiders too, man.
I know, but I'm just asking who is the Chiefs' elite corner? Exactly.
Patrick Mahomes. I think Snead. I think they still have Snead.
Yeah, I just think Kansas City outscores your guess.
Yeah, no, that I think.
Well, I mean,
I'm predicting
to be honest,
21-20.
The only way I could see us winning this game is if we do a Tennessee Titans game plan where we just run the ball.
Yes, that's all you should do. Derek Carr should have 101 yards, all to Devontae Adams for one score. The rest of the time, you should be running the ball.
Yeah.
Like
I'd agree with that. And I think if anyone should be able to architect that would be Josh McDaniels, whose New England Patriots team knew how to just run all day long. You remember that game against Buffalo last year?
Yes.
But I never thought Josh McDaniels was the one that was leading that charge. I always thought Bill was the one that came down and told Josh, if you call a passing play, I'm going to stab you. I think that's what happened. Josh McDaniels, I think, gets a little too big for his britches sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. But, I mean, we'll see. And if we run the ball effectively, they have to bring another man down in the box. And then you can't double everybody. But then it's like up the car to actually make the throw. And then we actually have to have somebody to fucking guard Kelsey.
You got it. I mean, you're not going to guard him. Just keep him to 10 yards.
My thing is that if you have an
that's a first down. They can do that shit.
Yes, you can. But guess what?
They have to
runs the clock.
Vegas has to finish drives with touchdowns.
Oh yeah,
you can
and we
keep
have not done
the time possession, but you got to finish them with touchdowns because when Kansas City has the football,
we can do that with Josh Jacobs.
I hope so. For your sake, I hope so.
Yeah, me too.
All right, off the picks.
Game 21-20. Raiders.
I think it'll be more high scoring than that.
If the Raiders,
34,
no, but
34,
if the Raiders
28.
If the Raiders lose, it'll be 41-20.
I had 34-28 us.
All right, Jets, those are your picks. Let's go in the final thoughts. Who's first? Fine, I'll pick it. James.
I don't have anything.
All right. Ryan?
I'm stressed out.
The Mets had a 10.5 game lead in the NL East.
Oh, yeah.
And then the Atlanta Braves went on a historic, I think it was 45-13 run.
Yeah.
And now I'm sitting here with the Mets playing the Nats. And if they sweep the series and the Braves lose every game, then we don't have to play
the Dodgers,
San Diego, and then the Dodgers. And this is why I can't have nice things.
I'm sorry, bro.
Yo, what the fuck?
I know. I was actually watching those games with my mom because she's a Braves fan, and that shit was hilarious. I know.
Give her my congratulations.
No, that's not what you wanted to say.
All right, to wrap this
I'm not Keem. I don't disrespect people's mothers.
Oh, I do. MILF Hunters, NYC.
Yeah, that is the fucking weirdest fucking name. And I had to explain that to people. It's like,
do you see my logo?
No, I didn't see your logo.
You have to see the logo.
Is it a MILF Hunter?
It's Zach Wilson with porn stars all around. Cougar porn stars. There's not a porn star in the picture under the age of 45. It's great.
Hey man, look, people, love is love.
That's all I'm saying.
Thank God that logo's so damn small.
No, I put footballs over the titties. So beyond that, put little footballs over the titties. It was like an hour's worth of work.
See, I almost forgot to save my picks again.
Look at you son of a bitch. But you're learning.
I did, because I was like,
I meant to ask after you were done.
See, I don't even get help from you guys, and you know my faults.
Yeah, my bad.
Wow. Dr. Jesse Morris is 0-4.
Yeah, fantasy doctor. Dude, feeling a little sick.
But this fucking season has not been real.
No, this season's been absolutely ridiculous. All right, my final thought before we get up out of here. I finally started watching from the beginning Welcome to Wrexham, which is the Ryan Reynolds, Rob McElhenney show about them buying a football club in England. And it was great. I'm not on look, I've been on the fence about whether or not to buy FIFA.
You should.
Ted Lasso's in it. And the Ted Lasso season looks like it's going to get delayed before that comes out.
It's the last FIFA ever.
Yeah, it is.
That means nothing to me. So I will say I'm dipping my toes a little bit back into the soccer game. But before I get out of here, for real, great weekend for McLaren in Formula One. Looks like that new car that they gave to Lando Norris is working out. Daniel Ricciardo gets to whip it out next week. And I got
not
good
next
feelings,
season.
baby. No, next week.
Are you saying
next season?
They're whipping it out?
Man.
They are whipping it out and slapping everybody with it. At least everybody that's not Red Bull or Ferrari. And fuck Red Bull.
I want to add this part for you, K-Dot. This FIFA is the best one that I have played in a long fucking
What console are you playing on?
It doesn't matter. It's cross platform.
No, I meant like next generation.
Yeah, next gen.
Yeah, I don't have a next gen. So I don't know if that impacts it.
Just
Like I almost, you know what I almost bought today?
What?
Madden. And with that bombshell, ladies and gentlemen, that's been another episode of ASOS.
Don't
I actually think I did a pretty good job hosting.
You did.
Thank you.
Sports in that ass.
Sports
It's
in
less
ass,
arguing.
bitches.
Yeah,
Peace
because
out.
Keem wasn't here. Keem was
Yeah.
just fucking just
Thought that
prodding
was gonna be a
bears.
good day to like just end it.
And it would have been perfect to have Keem on this episode, so you could prod back because you just beat his team.
Wait, first of all, I'm not a prodder. Sounds
You're
weird.
an octopussy.
Hey man, one of my favorite Bond movies. I love you guys. I'm out. Peace.
Peace.